Great. Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Being here together with me today is Ákos, my colleague from Hungary. And of course, we'll have the pleasure of presenting to you guys, some new functions and some new features in Impact 17. And what we're going to focus on today, especially in Impact 17, is going to be Impact Design and inside AutoCAD or BricsCAD. And the example we're going to do is going to be in AutoCAD, of course. And basically, what we're going to do, of course, is well, we might as well jump straight into it. I think it is 1 o'clock or 1 minute past 1. Is we'll have some different. Let me just click here so they all show up. We'll have some different things we want to show you guys. And now here I'm starting the webinar, and at some point Ákos will take over and show some stuff as well. And then at the end, I think we'll be making a little commercial for the next webinar we'll do in Impact 17, which will be Project Manager. But basically today is the rough agenda here. We're going to show you approximately six different things. And there's of course much more, but what we're going to focus on are things that are more or less automatically applicable when you'll be jumping onto 17. And things that might make a smaller difference or a larger difference depending on how you use the software. Anyways, the main thing of all of them is that it makes life much easier. So also when you add them together, you get like a little bit bigger thing. So the first one we want to show you guys is new jig previews. They're called jigs, but it's basically the previews when we draw the elements. There's more information on them. You can see what the bracing size are, you'll see measurements and so on and so forth. So if you're interested in that, stay focused, hurry out, get your coffee, sit back and get ready to just take in the knowledge straight away or in 1 or 2 minutes when we get there. Then we're going to be talking about definition, colors on elements. What is that? Why is that? We'll of course get to. Then some installation in elevation views for sandwich panels and customizable depths of lifters on individual lifting type level. It's a long sentence as well. Of course, I'll also be showing you what that exactly means. And adding and editing sections in reinforcement groups, as well as improved ducts, diameter, and depth location for MEP keys, as we call it, electrical or piping or something like this. So we'll do a little example with that as well. And I'll do these first few smaller things here. And then at that point, I'll let Ákos take over and he will show you guys a little bit about layouts for double walls and form slabs and how you automatically get 3D solid views out on them as well with the click of one button. So just as I mentioned, making everything easier. The webinar is going to be 45 minutes to 1 hour. I'm pretty sure we'll be closer to 45 minutes, so we're not going to be stealing too much of you guys' time. But that's basically it. For the guys and for you guys who are participating today, about 2/3 of you participating are existing customers and about 1/3 are people who do not currently own the Impact software. So of course, the webinar itself is minded for you guys who already have it and want to know what you're getting in the next version. But we'll try and make it as easily understandable for newcomers as well, so you guys can get an impression of what it is we're all about. So as we say, without further ado, let's just jump straight into the software. So that's it. Now we're in the software. So right now you should be seeing my my project manager, which is the new Impact 17 project manager. Just for good measure, Ákos, can you confirm if we can see the project manager right now on the screen?
Yeah, everything is fine.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Because the webinars, you never know. Maybe you guys will write in a chat or something that you cannot see it. But it seems like everything is working as it should. So there's no model right now. I don't have my 3D model yet. I haven't made anything. But for those of you who are using Impact, you can see, there are some small changes in the layout of the software, and there's even some new tabs with, for example, the time visualization tab, which is something that we'll get in on the next webinar. But we'll get back to that after the concrete information we have here. So what I want to do is basically I want to jump straight into a floor plan, and just directly into showing you guys some stuff. And what I promised was, sorry, let me get back here. I'll just have the list next to me so I don't forget something for you guys. What I promised was, first we're going to be looking at the new jig previews, and it's basically for almost any element type. Saying what are the new previews? So that's what I promised to get into. Basically, let's say now I'm going to draw something in impact. I'm going to draw a wall. And the new stuff hasn't started yet, but I'll zoom in a little bit so we get it. So for those of you familiar to impact, you'll see straight away the difference here. We get an arrow and we get this measurement line down below as well. So something, again, as I mentioned, it's a smaller thing, but then again, not, because what the arrow does here is that the arrow, at this point where I only have a preview, it symbolizes where the bracing side is of the element. And in this element and this type, I have my number marking side on the other side of the bracing side, which is the up in mold side, of course. So a little technical for those of you guys who don't know impact. For those of you who do, I think it's completely fitting. So basically, I can see the measurements, but you'll still work the same way you usually do. If you want to make something 4 meters, you write 4,000. If you want to just click something out, you click something out. And it actually takes us already in to one of the other things, because you might notice that my wall panels here are yellow. And that's actually something to do with the color of the element definition, which was one of the things I mentioned before, but we'll get back to that, because before we do too much, I just want to draw some other elements as well. Of course, here we drew some solid walls, and I might as well draw some sandwich panels as well. And as you can see here, for the sandwich panel, I have the bracing side on the same side as the element side, which will be up in mold. Typically, that's because, in my case here, up in mold is the back panel of my sandwich wall, of course. But we'll do a little bit something here. And now you can see we get another color. That's why I wanted to draw a little bit differently. So I'm not actually aiming to draw a building or anything like that here. I'm just drawing some elements so we have a little bit something to go after afterwards. So now we have some purple elements, we have some yellow elements. What does that actually mean? Well, if we go into it, and I'll just jump a little bit back and forth for you guys, I think it's the easiest, is that the purple element in my case here means it's a 42 centimeter sandwich panel. The yellow means it's a 20 centimeter solid wall. How do I know that? Well, because it's me who set it up, but also because the way we made this is that what you want to do is you want to have your drawings as easy to read as possible for people on the site, for the management in the company, or for whoever it might be that are looking into the actual elements. So if you go to this one, which was in the old days, or today in Impact 16 is called naming, it's called miscellaneous now. And that's because we've added more stuff. So you can see this color method here is by definition. So the definition of the sandwich wall 42, 152, 170 is this color, 124, 0, 165, or as we might call it, purple. So that means that straight away, if you just put it in your drawings as a standard thing, everybody will know that the purple elements are 420 millimeter sandwich panels or 42 centimeter sandwich panels. And then again, it's the exact same case if we look into the standards of the walls here. So we'll go into the common here. We'll check out the 20 mil one. So it's also colored by definition, and it's yellow. So to show a little bit differently here is, let's say we're drawing some other walls. This wall here is one size, but let me do some 15 centimeters ones. they're red. Let me do some 25 centimeter ones. They're light green. So you can see that now when I'm looking at the plan here or looking at the drawing, I don't even need to look at anything or measure anything out or check anything about the naming. I can just see straight away what is what. And that's the whole point about this coloring thing here. And it actually follows through over to slabs and hollow core and things like this as well. And that's why before I was finished with the new jig previews, I actually jumped to the color. But now we'll jump back to the jig previews again. So it's a little bit jumping back or forth, but I think it's all in the spirit of making it easier to see. So again, I'll just make it next to it. I don't want to do like an exact building today, but now you can see the actual area here. I'm just doing a window, so super simple. You can still do the polylines or the points, anything like that you want. But I also just do the window here, and I'll see 2.2 times 1.5, 5.6 times 4.8, and so on. So it's very quick for you to see the actual size of what you're doing here. So let's just go ahead with this. And no slope for my hollow cores, and it's fine for it to cut this one here in the middle. So we have the cut element, we have the other elements, they're all light blue. In some cases, you're drawing a building, and somewhere in the building, you're switching in between the hollow cores. Some are bigger because they have a longer span, it's a different load in there, and so on and so forth. And if you just have the name hollow core 1, hollow core 2, hollow core 3, of course, then you need to look at it, check it up to see what it is, check the actual depth and so on, look at the 3D model. How do you get around that? Well, the suggestion is the same thing here again. It's the color. So right now, all of these is the same definition. I just used the one I called definition 19, which is 185 millimeters hollow cores, but I can change some of them. We'll just change them to the definition 20 instead. And from above, I can't see a difference because the geometry is the same seen from a plan drawing. They're the same width, they're the same length, but they're not the same thickness. And that I can see straight away now that I have the light blue ones, the dark blue ones, I have the purple sandwich panels, I have the yellow, the red, and the green walls. So I think it's all about accessibility, it's all about visualization, and it's all about actually making it a little bit, taking a little bit a step away from the realistic look from when you're working here, because you want it to be practical. And that's the whole point. Being practical is that you should be very, very able to recognize it very, very quickly, what it is you're doing, and if someone else is looking at it. So that's what we tried to do here with the colors, with the jig previews, and at least we think we succeeded, but it'll all be up to you guys anyways. I didn't mention this, I think, at the beginning, but the version that Akash and I are sitting in here and showing you in, the impact version, is we can call it like an alpha test version of Impact 17. This is not even released for testing yet. So this is actually, we're sitting on a version that our developers are using. They'll be releasing an alpha test soon. And then at some point after summer, we will be releasing the first version. So this is a couple of steps even before the first version, but we just couldn't wait to show you guys. We want to show you guys some impact design. We want to show you guys some impact production, some project, and so on. And if we want to show you all of it before we actually release the software, we just have to start a little bit ahead of time. But there's definitely some stuff you can look forward to here. So the next one I had, and the reason why I actually made a corner around here, let's just save the walls just so we get them in the database here. Oh well, let's do the corner first. Sorry guys. So this is completely, all of you guys know how to do this already, the joints and the connections and all that, at least all of you guys who are current customers. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to make a joint here in the corner. So that I have some installation in the corner to actually show, because that's the point of it. I want to show you guys another new function or new feature or new visualization thing or whatever we want to call it in Impact 17. So the joint here itself is not so important, but of course it is, but in the example I want to show you guys, it's not. The important thing is the insulation and how it's showing. And here, of course, just for good measure, we can of course show it in the solid view, so you get everything. For those, just in the honor of you guys who don't use Impact already. But you might notice something already now is that the lifters are centered in the back plate. So this is another thing we'll show you as well. You could do this in 16, but you can do much more with it in 17. But it'll take us there. I'll change back to the wireframe again. Again, it's all about this where I'm saying we're actually on purpose staying away from something that's realistic and instead preferring something that's, well, plainly said, just easy for us. So let me save a few of them. Let me save a few of the solid panels as well, just in case we decide to do something with these guys at some point. I'll do the same with the hollow core as well, just in case. We can also take a look at them in the project manager if we just to have a sneak peek at the project manager for you guys as well. So I'll just look at the agenda I have on the screen next to me here. And basically it takes us to, we've done step number 1. We've done step number 2 out of these 6 steps I wanted to show you guys. Now we're getting to step number 3, which is the installation in elevation views and depth of lifters on an individual level, it says. So if I open up the sandwich panel here, maybe I want to make a shop drawing before I open it. You know, it's always something you forget. There we go. Let's make a shop drawing of it first. I only saved the walls, so sometimes you're too fast for your own good, aren't you, or talk too much. So we're making the shop drawing here for this one, getting the drawings ready and so on. And of course, just opening it up to see how it looks and what looks different. So again, for you guys who are not already a user of Impact, what I think you should take away from this is the production drawing itself. How finished is it with all the details and so on? That's going to be what's interesting to you. But what's going to be interesting to you guys who are already using Impact is this here, the installation in the elevation. It might again seem like a small thing, but it's just something. And here it's actually something where we're moving towards something realistic instead of away from it. So, you know, it's going to be a little bit up and down, but again, it's made after what makes most sense to us and what makes it easiest to us, of course. So here it's very easy to see that we have some installation here. Nobody will misinterpret this. Some might have it as shown as yellow instead of green as I have here, but it's just a matter of the colors. But that's basically it for that feature, and it just does it. So you don't really have to do anything, which is the case of most of these things we're going to show you today. Some of them you can set something up, but basically the thing is that all of them are automatic. So that's the whole point, of course. But that takes us to the lifters. As you can see, we have these small lifters here, which are placed on the center of the back panel and not in the center of gravity in the panel. And this is completely on purpose. So if it was in the center of gravity, of course, we'd have to have some panel thickenings and some stuff like that. But if we put it in the center of the back panel, we're not lifting completely to the center of gravity. So there's a little bit this decision making to be made here and so on. So, but again, it's all about the opportunity to actually do it. If we go in to the actual definition itself, the wall definition, which is what we're drawing on right now, and we look at it or changing it, we go in to the lift settings. And here, especially for you guys who are already using the software, you'll see that this is much bigger than it usually is. And there's also a new picture. So what does this mean? Well, if we do by standard, it's going to place the lifters in the center of gravity. We're going to do maybe some automatic thickenings or something like this. Just everything will be great. But you now get the option of saying that I'll do it by centroid, which is standard in this case, or I'll do it by the depth itself, or I'll do it both by the centroid and depth placing. So what I've done is I did it by the depth itself, and I'm going to do it only up to elements that weigh 7 tons. When I get above 7 tons and up to 10.3 tons, I actually wanted to place this different type of lifter in it instead, and I needed to place it in the center of gravity. So we can check this by making the element a little bit bigger so it weighs more than 7 tons. So we'll just do that just in a couple of minutes. But otherwise, the depth is, you can actually have a fixed depth, and it's quite easy to say if you want it in the middle of the back panel here. You have a back panel that's 150, you put it in 75, the depth. So that's the manual depth thing here, but it'll do it in all the elements. It'll still put the lifters in according to the center of gravity on the size of the element itself. It's more like, where do we place it in the section, through the section. So let's go ahead and let's change the element a little bit. So what I want to do is I want to make it bigger, because right now it weighs 5.3 tons. And as you could see before, when we hit those 6.9, it's going to do some changes. It's going to put some other lifts in. So what happens if we make it 5.5 meters instead? We're going to hit almost 8 tons. Let's just do it. Yes, please redraw and please update basically everything in this case here. And then when it does this, we'll get this new other type of lift. We can see the lifter is now placed in the center of gravity like usual. This is one that goes into the concrete here. I haven't configured the automatic, what are they called? The automatic wall thickenings and so on. It doesn't move the wire loops. Why doesn't it move the wire loops? Because, well, we still have another wall connecting to it here. There's some different things in the solution and so on. So it does exactly what it's supposed to do everywhere here. So if I go back a little bit again, that meant that we now have covered number 3 of our 6-part, I don't know, 6-part rocket or whatever we want to call it. Then the next thing is we want to do some reinforcement groups, and to keep it simple, we'll take another one of the panels, but I think we're going to add like in a door or something. Why not, So let me just check the door definition just to be safe. This is like a demo thing we're using anyways. 2165 WD 42 2165. Perfect. There we go. And I'll place it somewhere around here and put it into the sandwich panel. And what we will do is we'll make a shop drawing of this one as well, because what I want to do is I want to show you guys some the updated functionality, updated maneuverability, updated a little bit something for the reinforcement groups. So I know for half of the guys of you that are using Impact already, you're not using reinforcement groups. I know that half of you are. So for some of you who are not using it, this might be a good introduction to reinforcement groups as well. So I have my automatic reinforcement, I have my door here, but I want to add some more reinforcement that I haven't defined in the template. You could of course get a reinforcement group here as well, but that's not what I want to do. I want it completely manual. So let's just take this one, 200 times something. We'll add it in from here to here with an anchorage of 400 on each side. There we go. So now we have a reinforcement group here. I'm going to save it, save the wall, update everything, draw up the sketches on the reinforcement group and the measurement and everything, and go to the actual sketch of the reinforcement group. So this is something that we know already, but this is extremely simple, very, very simple reinforcement group. But where it can start to be challenging if when you start to change in the actual geometry of the reinforcement group, you need several extra sections, you need several extra other things, and you start to get a lot of sections. How can you actually control this yourself? And that's what this function is all about. So let me just go in and like manually change something here. You can see this lights up red, but that's basically because it doesn't want to cut through this one if it can help to do it. So we will do a little bit something here. So right now I'm just editing some stuff in the actual reinforcement group here, just to have it, you know, a little different. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna make it correct. I'm just gonna make it different. So we will have this one. Well, let's say we'll still have it here, but I want to change the size to 200. Now, of course, it becomes a little technical and not talking so much about what I'm doing, as I think it's more about, you know, how will it look, to be honest. So let's go here. Let's delete some stuff as well. Let's copy this one from here to here. And let us add in those new ones that I made. So now we have a little bit more. Oh, let's add in that one as well. I forgot that one. So now we have a little bit more special something here. Let's save the reinforcement again, have it redraw it up for us. So now, as usual, Impact will draw up sections for us. You can see these are red, services warnings for the lifter here, of course. But for me, I say that's fine. We'll make it. We'll make do. So now we have this section. We confused it a little bit. There's one section in it here. So what are we gonna do now when we changed it? Well, basically, the new thing is that we can add and edit sections here. So I'll add a section. I'll select the group. I want to add a section here. And basically, I want to add another section over here as well. There we go. You don't have to make it clean and tidy and neat like this here. We can even maybe add in a fourth section. So we'll have 4 sections here. Like that here. So we don't have to make it neat, clean, or tidy. We just have to make it something like this here. And basically, I'll have it draw the reinforcement group up. So the screen changed a little bit, switched a little bit, but that's because we got a lot of sections in now suddenly, where we have section A, B, C, and D, 4 sections down here. What if I don't want one of the sections is messed up, what I did a little bit? We'll basically click like that, remove the section. Don't we want the C one, or do we? We can see here, there's a little bit here. Maybe I need to do my template a little bit better so it's easier to read it, but you know, worst thing that can happen is this. So basically that's it about the reinforcement as well. Now it's very easy to just move it around, save it. You know, I almost want to say forget about freezing and thawing the reinforcement group now, because it's much easier to work with it. So there's definitely something here that I know for you guys to take advantage of and to work with. And even the one I made here is super simple, but I just made some quick stuff and added a bar here, added a bar there, just to have not like a standard one at least, just to show you guys the principle. And this again, these are just buttons we added, so you don't have to do anything, just use it. It's super easy when you get to it. So when you have Impact 17, you know where to go. And let me just click here, sorry guys again. Let me just click here. And then we have the improved duct diameter and depth location. That's the last thing I want to get into before I give the word on to Akash at least. And there I had like a plan. I had a plan. I want to make a slab utilizing some of the new slab functionality we had in Impact 16 because it's cool and it looks cool. And I'll do like a balcony something, and then putting in electrical sockets to have lighting on the underside of this balcony for when you go outside and everything's hidden into the concrete element, blah, blah, blah. So that's the plan to do that. So let me jump back to the actual plan drawing here and just make a little bit of a shape. Something like this here. Maybe it's a little the sizes, maybe they aren't completely right, but we can change it. So there we go. Maybe this is not realistic. I just freehand some stuff here, so might look a little bit better. So basically, this is what we want to do. We want to make like a balcony element that's going in here. Maybe there's a door or something, a wall here. We're connected to the wall, and it's with like a curved edge, and we're going to put in some lights sockets underneath it here. So that's the shape, and I'm going to draw the slab itself. Here we go. We'll just take this one standard end, copy to everything. Erase the polyline, it doesn't matter. So here we have our slab, we have our lifters, we have everything as standard. And I think I'm going to do it in the shop drawing. I like to do it in the shop drawing. You could do it in here as well, of course. It's the same functionality. What we're going to use some stuff over here from Draw MEP key and ducts. So let me just pick this one here, get it saved, get a shop drawing made. There we go. And of course, improved duct diameter and depth location, just basically it means that it's now easier to freehand electric ducts or ventilation ducts inside your precast elements. We have our drawing of the element here. I'll just jump to the drawing itself. Oh, sorry. I'll just jump to the drawing itself here. We have the rebar drawing, we have the geometry drawing, we have the 3D preview with no rebar in it here. In this case, we'll update that one to include the rebar and to include the actual ducts as well. But I want to put some lighting fixtures in this one, and maybe you do it usually in the shop drawing, in the plan drawing, if you have some underlying stuff, some XREF, some Revit models or whatever. But I just like to put it in here, so that's what I'm going to do. You know, you can do whatever you choose. So I'm going to draw a casted material, and I'm going to choose my electrical items and a ceiling box here. It's going to be placed at the bottom of the element, and I'm going to place it, the element depth into it. And I want it, now I'm just going to put it approximately somewhere. Again, here it's just for my, you know, own selfish thing. So basically, what I want to do is I want to add it like this, and this is what I want. I want my electrical sockets to be here, but I also want, of course, the wiring to be able to go inside the actual precast element. And now before we'll do the wiring here, I'll just have a look at the 3D model and everything here. So now you can see we have our electric boxes, our electric sockets here. We have this nice curved bar here. This is what I meant with showing something from 16 as well, that, you know, it actually adds in a curved bar, if it's even possible for you guys to make something like this, of course. I know everything's possible if you have the right equipment, but at least to me it's very nice. So now we want to draw the ducts themselves. And the difference here is, of course, I can just draw a duct and start to draw them, but I want to explain to you guys what it is that I'm doing, of course. So if I go into my ducts, and then I check I'm going to use the 20 mil pipes. There's a new tab called duct. So it asks for the diameter. It already knows the diameter, but this diameter it uses to draw a sketch on the actual plan. And you can see there's something called appearance here. Draw a multi-line, draw the center line, draw the diameter. So this is all about visualization again, and again, actually going away from what's realistic, even though it's realistic, but just to show us a little bit more. So that's where you do it. And again, then it just becomes automatic. So I'll draw them. I'll draw the duct. I'll draw this one here. And I will draw one from here to here, for example. And you know, it could be anything. So I'm just I'm just thinking of something nice to do here. So this one here, and then I'm just gonna angle it in. This is not because you have to angle it in. It's just I just want to show you guys what it does if we do it, and how it shows it in a 3D model and so on. So you can see it merges it in. Here we have the ducts through. Here we can feed our wires through as well. Maybe this is not very smart to feed a wire through an angle like that, but you know, we're just sitting here on our webinar, and then we have it as well here. So you can see the depth itself here. I didn't really hit the depth correctly, did I? You know, I put the depth in 40 mil and I didn't snap or check or anything like that. So maybe I want to check the depth a little bit instead to make it correct. Probably something like 120 mil instead. And we can go in and check it if it looks correct here. Oh, there we go. That's much better. So that's perfect. Now we have everything set. We have our little customized slab here, balcony slab thing with the electric sockets, even with some ducts in, so it's easy to do the wiring, ready to go, get it out into production, get it made. So actually, I think to be honest, that's what I wanted to show you guys. And just before going to Akos, I just want to go back and just update here, just for you guys to see. It's the same in 17 as in 16. Everything, you know, the 3D model and so on is the same. It's a little bit updates to some of the coloring and so on. But otherwise, you know, you're looking at the same good old stuff. Just got a little bit of an overhaul. And for the PM specifically, of course, you'll have some new functions such as a notification system, time visualization system, and so on. But again, that's for the webinar next month. So Akos, I will make you the presenter here. So right now I'm clicking make another person the presenter. Do you want to make Akos the presenter? And I'll say yes. So let's see if we'll see Akos's screen now. And I see your screen.
That's
yes.
Perfect. Okay, so hi guys again. Now I will show you how to draw double walls, and then after I will create a shop drawing and the improved functionality, which one is the 3D, solid 3D views on a production drawing. It's come up automatically. So let's jump. I just want to draw a very rough element. Come on. Okay, some technical issue. So here is my element. I don't really want to think it looks correct or not, but you can see all the corners are in a correct shape and in a 3D too. Now I just need to save my element. Yeah. And on a shop drawing in 17, we will get the 3D views, and in the 3D views, the reinforcement is included too. Let me show it to you guys. Here's my shop drawing. It's separated for the inner and for the outer panel, and here is the new 3D view. You have a choice to what you want to show it in your 3D. Now it's only the custom materials and the lattice girders are included, but if I turn on the reinforcement, of course I have lots of rebar because I have mesh and I have classic reinforcement mesh too. So actually it's up to you how you want to visualize your element or your production drawing. I don't really like to show everything in one view. So I prefer this one, but you can choose. So this is the new function for the double walls. I think it looks very cool, and it helps a lot in your colleagues in a factory. But let me show you how it looks for the form slab. And just going back to the top view, and here's my form slab. This definition is good for me, and yeah, just throw it. Oops. Pre-stress one, through window, and you can see for the form slab is the same functionality is available. You can see the approximately size what you draw now. It's fine for me. I don't really care about the edges, and this one looks fine. And the element color, it means I have not set it up the edges correctly, but I always get the information if I want to. It says invalid edge. I don't really want to fix it, but I will save it. And just creating a short drawing in a couple of seconds, and we can see the result with the 3D view. Let me open it. Oh.
I think the one we made, the reason, Akash, is the one we made was for the non-pre-stressed ones. The template we made this morning. Akash and I, we had a little meeting this morning. We made a template. We were like, oh, we're gonna make a template for this thing for you guys, and you know, we want to show you what you get automatically. But of course, we made it for non-pre-stressed form slab.
But it's a very good example how many seconds I need to create a new one and create a new short drawing.
Yeah, I didn't even have time to say what we did, and then you already made it, of course.
But I'm just opening my short drawing, and yeah, you're right. That was the reason. So here's my shop drawing. You can see it just takes 5 seconds to make it again. But it is a new 3D view, and the possibility is the same, just like for the double one. You can include or not include your reinforcement. No, I will include it plus the custom materials, and everything is updated automatically. So from this point, you have the reinforcement view for your machines, plus you have these 3D views, which one is a big advantage for the workers in the factory. And from the 17, you can set up the layout settings for your double walls and for your form slabs too. So actually, all your drawings is looks the totally same, just like mine, and of course it's fully customizable, and you can decide what you want to show it on your production drawing. So
something that really is coming from you guys, you know, saying you have the 3D view automatically on all the drawings, you have the layouts, you have everything like this, and typically we haven't done it for the double walls, and we added, of course, layouts for the form slabs, but we caught up now. So, and now it's at least as good as everything else, or everything is, I almost said perfect, as perfect as it can be in the first version of 17. And then for the next one, we add more, of course. What I wanted to do, and the reason why I'm jumping in again, is of course now you have both the honor of me and Akos here, but I wanted just, because I think we're almost done, but I wanted to just take the opportunity, I'll make myself the presenter again, to show you guys what you need to do now. You know, now the webinar has ended. What do you need to go and do in these next 15 minutes? Because we know you told your boss that you're going to be on a webinar from 1 to 2. So you got 15 minutes extra. What are you spending those on? Basically, go into StruSoft.com, go to Impact, go to Webinars, sign up for this webinar here, April 26th. It's about, oh, my calendar tells me I have a webinar now. We know this. So in about a month, we're going to do Impact 17, project management notifications. Linus is going to show you guys the time visualization feature. He's going to show you the notification functionality as well. And he will be very happy to show, you know, the project manager, which is one of the places where you guys are going to be seeing a big visual difference in impact. How do you sign up? The same way as you did here, of course. Register now, jump in. If you guys are so unlucky that you're busy today and you forget to do this, I think we can promise that we'll send you an email so you can sign up in due time as well. But it'll probably be a few weeks before we'll send that out. That's it for me. You have anything else you want to add, Akash? You think that we forget maybe?
No.
No. But we said 45 minutes to 1 hour. We spent 46 minutes. I think it's like perfect timing. You guys have a little extra time. Go get that extra cup of coffee and get registered, and we'll see you on the next one, I think. Thank you, everyone, for your time today, and hopefully see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.